Hello and good afternoon and welcome to LVS Perspectives 19. So we're locked down but not locked out, and this is our exit strategy. So I'm actually really smiling because I'm actually very happy today. So there were rumbles in Parliament yesterday that all schools were going to return, but what did all schools mean, or was it all pupils? So it wasn't until Mr Johnson spoke last night that we really had clarity what it meant, and it couldn't have worked out better for us, because I do believe the best place we could be is in school. So on Monday the 8th of March we will all be back. So as you can imagine, we've been planning certain scenarios right the way throughout to see how we would do it when it happened. And then last night we finalised our plan. So the session here today is to tell you about our exit strategy leading into the end of the academic year. And please send your questions through as I talk. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, because there's probably something that I'm going to miss out. So I'm really relying on you to give me a prompt in case there's something I haven't said. Okay, so the first big thing that will be mentioned is when and how are we returning on March the 8th? So we're looking at how we can test pupils, because the guidance does say we have to test pupils from March the 8th before they can come back in the classroom. So we had a cunning plan where we were going to spread it over a week and then finish on the 15th and 16th. But Mrs Collins, who is our super head of compliance, came up with a cunning plan just before I came in here, and we think we could get everything done, all the testing done on March the 8th, so that everyone will be back in school. It will mean that we have to stagger the day, so there will be later arrivals, but we will make sure that the bus children come in, and 11 and 12 and 13, followed by the rest of the school. We have to test 3 times, so it will be Monday, Thursday and the following Monday, and then testing will be done at home. So you guys will have the tests and you'll be doing the testing at home. So that will make sure that there's less disruption in school and we can all carry on. So if there is a positive test, then the routine is it is self-isolation. There is no PCR test following that up. So if a test comes back positive in school, then it will be home for a period of isolation. Okay, so that's good news. So we will be back on Monday, the 8th of March, all our pupils, including the infant and junior school, because there's no testing for pupils in the infant and junior school, only the staff. And we will be managing the staff testing starting next week into the following week. So we're all pretty excited. There is a lot of excitement going on because we can't wait to be back. So remember, if you've got any questions, bring them through as I talk. So the next topic is timetable. So we have been on this lovely lockdown timetable with a 2-hour in the middle of the day, and it's worked really, really well. But from March the 8th, we will be reverting back to our normal school timetable where we have LVS 1 at the start of the day and lessons through till 4 o'clock. With lunchtime, just 1 hour now, but the nights are lighter so we can get outside. It's really lovely, isn't it? Being able to walk outside between 5 and 6 o'clock now and still hear the birds sing. So that's the timetable. And we will be teaching across the 2 schools as well, so lessons will resume as normal as we can possibly do. Which leads on to bubbles. So I'll talk about bubbles. Boarding's on there next on the list, but I will jump to bubbles. So what we're going to do in the infant and junior school, they will be year group bubbles. The children need to get together, they need to be able to socialise and be with their friends, and so we're going to work on the year group bubbles. In the senior school, they will be tutor groups will be in their houses, but their lessons will be in the classes that the children were in December before we went into this lockdown. So we've got a little bit of a hybrid there where we can have the children in their tutor groups in their houses for pastoral concerns and reasons, but the classes themselves will be quite static as they were in December as well. Then I'm going to move on to boarding. So boarding pupils can return to school unless boarding pupils live in what they call the red spots. And we don't think actually that we have any children from those countries, but that also means you can't travel through those areas as well. So boarders can return to school, and the best person to talk to about returning to school and when it's going to happen and the practicalities of it is Mr Hunt. So please email Mr Hunt, who's the head of boarding. And we can, for those pupils, offer quarantine in one of our boarding houses. So if you arrive and need to be quarantined, we can open up one of our boarding houses where you will learn online until you can be reintegrated into the school community. So it's all looking good for everybody, really, really looking good. And also talking about boarding, especially if you're coming from abroad, that we will not be closing the school over Easter, so it will be open to boarding pupils over that period of time. And although we will still be restricted on things that we can do in this phase of the easing out of lockdown, we will try and make it as interesting as possible. So we'll try and put as many activities on site as we possibly can. Okay, so that's boarding. With extended day, so extended day in the infant and junior school will continue to be in year group bubbles, as will the senior school, and that does mean there won't be any after school clubs as such in the infant and junior school because we'll have to staff the extended day, but again we will provide activities. And in the senior school, children will be looked after in year group bubbles there also, so if they want to stay to take part in a club that is going on, then they can access it from the classrooms in their year group bubbles as well. So moving forward, we will then be updating our risk assessments. Obviously we've got all that to do, to give to our insurances, to send out to you if you want them, if you want to see our risk assessments. Our staff can see them, and then we will take them to the Health and Safety Committee so that everybody's happy with our arrangements coming back into school. And then we still haven't got an update from the Ofqual consultation, but the message that came out from Gavin Williamson last night is that it's imminent, so we expect that probably in the next day or so. And as promised, we will contact the Year 11 and 13 for Zoom meetings on Friday, so we can talk to you a little bit more about the outcomes of that consultation. But it does mean Year 11 and 13 will be on site for the assessments starting on the 15th of March, which is really good news. It couldn't have worked out better, and therefore we want as many Year 11 and Year 13 back on site so that we can have that great data that we're going to get from those assessments too. And then they will continue after Easter as planned as well. So then moving on to Year 10 and 12 exams, we did say previously they'd be right at the end of the summer term and we'd take them off site. But we anticipate with the exam consultation that all the centre assessed grades will be done by the middle of June. We really think that will be the outcome because obviously it's been sort of muted that the results might come out in July. We've still got to wait. But it means we can aim to hold the Year 10 and 12 exams on site at LVS for the weeks commencing the 7th and 14th of June as well. And obviously then the country's slowly easing out of lockdown, leading up to June the 21st. And I looked on the calendar this morning and June the 21st is a Monday. And that means we have 2 clear weeks for party time. This is what we've been looking forward to. And I know there's actually a parent online right now who will be the first person to whoopee when we know that we're going to be partying. So the kind of things we're going to look to do. We're going to look to book the Year 11 ball. We're going to look to book a Year 13 leavers ceremony and celebration. We will look to maybe bring back our Year 13 from last year to see if we can't celebrate with them too because they completely missed out on it. We're going to be holding our sports days. We will have President's Day and Celebration Day and lots of other social events because I think we deserve it now from what we've been through, as long as the country continues to meet the government's data threshold for those milestones. So come on, June the 21st, that's what we're aiming for. Hopefully all the hard work will be done, all the assessments will be out the place, and we will be able to party for 2 weeks before we enjoy that summer holiday. So basically that's the update. So I'm going to work through the questions now. So if you've got any more questions, bring them through on the chat. So the first one is testing only for senior school, please? Yes, it's only for senior school pupils at the moment, but the staff will be tested. Will the children be able to do sport as part of a timetable, including swimming in infant school? So our normal timetable will go ahead. So all sport in school time will go ahead. We need to look at exactly what that means, but we will have a bit more update as the week progresses. But we can't see why we won't be able to open up all sports as the term progresses. Okay, so why aren't junior school children being tested? The answer to that is I don't know. So for some reason the government don't think that junior school need to be tested at this point in time. That could change. But at the moment, coming back to school, that's what the government guideline says as well. Okay, so hi Mrs. C, hi Mr. Yates, how are you? What is your view on borders? Should they return as soon as possible? And then probably have to stay over Easter, or is it better they stay online and return after Easter? Can they do online assessments? Okay, so I think children should be in school. I really do. I think we've had enough of online. It works when we have to do it, but we don't have to do it. So why don't we be back here and spend some time together? Plus, for those children in the exam years, it really is important that we actually see them face to face if we can, so that we have invigilators in the hall for those assessments, so that we can 100% hand on heart, this is what that pupil could achieve, if they were taking the exams, which they're not. Okay, if push comes to shove and the borders can't come back for one reason or the other, then we will get over that. But my opinion is that the more children we have back on site, the better. Okay, and the parent that I did say would be the first person to notice about the social period of time that we're going to have has actually texted in and said, yes, we will enjoy it so much, and lots of laughter going on there too. Okay, and in fact, the celebrations are coming in. So we've got now more kisses and eyes on the faces. We've got party hats. What else do we have? Can we have some more celebrations, please, coming through? I think it's brilliant. Okay, and we have a comment here. Yes, please, for a Year 11 ball. Without a doubt, we are going to make that work. We're going to make that work. So let's start thinking about those dresses and suits, people, and we will find a venue. We'll get in there quick. In fact, as soon as we leave here now, I'm getting on the phone. We'll get Mrs. Robinson and Miss Clark on this, and we will make sure we get that venue booked. Okay. So what uniform will the children be wearing? That's a really good question, because we didn't talk about that this morning, but we will be coming back in school uniform. If that were to change, we'll let you know, but it does seem quite sensible at the moment, but it may be that we soften it a little bit so that it's easy to wash. Okay, so we'll just watch that one over the next couple of days, and then we will come back and confirm that for sure. Okay. Please, can you confirm parent-based fun dates as soon as possible so we can book off work? How about the 2 weeks? And then the following 2 weeks we're going abroad on holiday. That'd be really lovely too, wouldn't it? So we will get onto that this afternoon. We do have in our term dates actual events for that last week of term, which we didn't take out. So it will kind of follow that format, but we might have to spread them out a little bit more. But we'll make sure you have plenty of notice. We'll get working on that this afternoon. Any change to the term dates? Okay, so again, I know that question came through last week, so thank you for holding on. So at the moment, it doesn't look like we need to change the term dates. We just need to make sure we get that confirmation from the consultation back within the next 2 days to say that it'll all be done and dusted in June, and then we can go on holiday and we finish our term as planned. It's either the 1st or 2nd of July, one of those dates. If we had to hold on for any kind of appeals process or whatever, we will know when that consultation comes out, and we can communicate that to you as soon as possible. But I know it's really important because everyone's getting on the phone now and booking their holidays. I hear the campsites are filling up really quickly already. Okay, are the Easter holiday dates the same? Yes, we are still coming back that little bit earlier. So we're coming back on the 19th. Okay, so that's Monday, the 19th of April, so we can start those assessments. And also, the more time we spend together now, the better. Okay, and then we can have a lovely long holiday after that. Mr. Towles here, what's the policy on masks? So far, what we see from the guidance is, in the senior school, that children wear masks around the school, in corridors, where in places where they cannot socially distance, because we've still got to maintain the social distancing, and if it's not possible, then mask to be worn. And that might be that they have to be worn in class, but it will be down to the circumstances of that class, how well spread out, ventilated it is, and how everybody feels happy with it as well. Remember, we've all got to work together, and it's what everybody feels most comfortable with, so that we can work in a really safe environment. So that's the government guidance so far as well. Clarity of senior school after school clubs, they can do them, art, cooking, textiles, etc. Okay, Mrs. Collins may be online. Now, we won't be doing, the co-curricular has to fit around the childcare, picking up bus times, that kind of thing. I think we are going to be quite restricted with what we can offer, but there may be online clubs But if Mrs. Collins isn't online, we will come back and clarify that to you in the co-curricular bulletin, which we're going to update this week. We will update the co-curricular, we'll update the exams bulletin, and also the COVID bulletin as well, so that you get real clarity there as well. If students in Year 11 are isolating, will they be able to do the assessments at home? Again, it's better if they're in school, so it could be, and we've got flexibility that when the children come back, we might be able to make up that time. So it's better that they have them in school. We would do it on a case-by-case basis. I mean, if all of Year 11 had to go out for one horrible reason or the other, then we might have to look at alternative weeks. But we'll get over it with as little pain and anxiety as we can possibly get. We'll make sure that we get that data in which we need. Okay. Latest return date for UK borders, please. Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Hunt is sending out a letter today, if it hasn't already gone, to say that borders can return to school 7th of March at 6 p.m. So again, talk to Mr. Hunt, because we'd like to get people back as soon as possible. What we do understand, there might be international flights. I'm not sure whereabouts in the world you might be. Oh, for UK borders, please. So the latest return date, that Sunday night, the 7th, just after 6 o'clock. So that would be the date we'd want to see you back in boarding, so you're in school for Monday morning. Okay. Good afternoon. My son joined during lockdown and he is without a uniform. LVS pre-loved uniform providers told me that as of now they're not allowed on the premises. So please let me know how to get a uniform for him. So, okay, that was last week when we couldn't be on site. So this week, PTA, let's go. We can be on site. If you want to email me, PTA, this afternoon, we'll get together and we'll arrange when we can get some uniform. And obviously we want to get some uniform for the young man who started in school, okay, so that he's all dressed up smart and raring to go, coming onto the school site. And it must be so exciting for him. Can you imagine? He hasn't been here yet, started during lockdown. So we're really, really looking forward to seeing you. Okay, will Year 7, 8 and 9 still have tests in the summer term? They will. They're not getting away with that one. So they will, and we will release those dates. We'll do that this week in the exams bulletin as well. So you haven't been left out Year 7, 8 and 9, nor the infant and junior schools. So there'll be lots of testing going on in the summer term, just to make sure we can see all that progress they've been making over time. Will boarders returning need to quarantine, or is a negative test sufficient? So depending on where you're coming from, okay, overseas boarders will need to quarantine in school as long as they're not from the hotspots. And if you're a UK boarder, it's probably down to testing, but again, can you contact Mr. Hunt, please? Hello, can we have proposed dates for leaver events and end of term events like President Day as soon as possible? Yes, I can see everybody's raring to go, aren't we? Can't wait to get back together, and we will make sure they're done as soon as possible. Are you still going ahead with new uniforms in September? Yes, that's all done. It's all in process, and so more information will come out about how you order that uniform, but that's all done now. I think we're just trying to source a good school bag, but I think the rest of it is done and it's looking really good, really good. A big thanks to all involved in everything you're doing, and big thank you for this super speedy update. You know us at LVS, we're always on it. We like to be ahead of the game. So it's really nice to be talking to you. In fact, we're so excited. I was awake at 4 o'clock this morning, bright as a button, because I just wanted to come in and do this. So exciting. Good news for once. Okay, and a big thank you to LVS. You've been amazing. And thank you. Thank all of you. We've done this together, haven't we? And if Boris has got anything to go by, we won't be going back. So full steam ahead now. It's brilliant. Will there be a chance for children to catch up on practicals such as cooking and GCSE food tech? So leave that one with us, and again, we're going to make sure that we get that real hands-on experience now. That's stuff we've really been missing. You know, in the science lab, in the music rooms, in the food rooms, we have got so much that we want to do. We have to get that data for the GCSE Year 11 and 13 and what that looks like when the exam bulletin comes out. But really, we're here just to do all those things that we haven't been able to do. The last thing we want to be doing is sat at desks, looking at boards or devices. We want to do all that practical, brilliant learning that you do with your hands-on stuff. Brilliant. Our boarding house is open during free periods and lunch for sixth form as they were before. Yes, they are. This is all new news here. So actually, I'm hoping, and I know there's a member of the boarding staff in the tech here, that you're hearing it firsthand. So yeah, it will all be as it was before, so that everything is nice and smooth and as calm as possible. Mr. Beattie says he's booked 2 weeks off already, and I don't blame him. I think we're going to have fun. Can international borders return after Easter? Yes, if it's going to problem coming back, we don't want to make it that it's not a 3-line whip. Be here as soon as you can. We want to see you, but if it's practically impossible, then we're not going to make life difficult. But if you're year 11 and year 13, please do look at the possibilities of coming back as soon as possible. Such good news for the children and the parents. Yeah, you've been amazing. Really amazing. I can't imagine what it's been like for you. My children are grown up. I see them working at home, but I'm not involved in that anymore. But I can imagine it's been really tough. And Mrs. Collins is here. So she says, we will be running extended day only in the senior school, and senior school clubs will remain online until Easter. We need to keep the bubbles as small as possible. Yeah, because the last thing we want to do is have to be sending people home. Okay, and then Mrs. Button was in there about the uniform as well. So well done. Thank you. Will Year 10 exams be on the week commencing 7th and 14th, or just week commencing? The chances are they will span over those 2 weeks, because we'll be doing Year 10 and Year 12 at the same time. They will be sort of coexisting with each other. So I would don't make any plans for those 2 weeks, so that we've got the flexibility for those 2 weeks as well. And we're on it already arranging the uniform being sorted. So thank you very much. Can a student already out of the country join school after Easter? So if you're out of the country and you want to come in after Easter, yes, you can. Contact Mr. Hunt and he will give you more details. Will there be any special event for Year 6 for the end of primary? Yep, so there will be celebration day. And so everybody in the infant and junior school will be in the hall for prize giving, and we will make sure that those children have the best end of the term, the academic year, as possible. And it always is really memorable, those prize giving days. So let's just pray everything goes really well. And yeah, thank you to Moira for getting the uniform. This little boy is excited, anxious and nervous all in one. But so tell him from us, from the LVS community, there is no need to be anxious or worried at all. He's going to have such fun. Do you know if students coming from the red list countries have to quarantine in the hotel if they're travelling on their own? If you're in a red list country, I don't think you can actually return to the UK at the moment. I could be wrong. But if you're travelling through, or you are coming to the UK, you would have to be in a hotel. But you need to check the government guidelines, your own country's government guidelines as well. But at the moment, I don't think travel is possible. And Faye says, thank you for being there for us and our children. We're so proud to be part of the community. I'm hugely proud of everything and everyone. It's amazing. And another thank you for the quick update. And Moira's talking to Jeremy as well about overseas borders. Great news, the children are coming back to school. Thank you to everyone involved for everything this year. Please, could there be a school production this summer? I missed them. Oh, I know, haven't we? I think the possibility is there's got to be something in there. But I'm probably going to have the performing arts team lined up outside the door, ready to lynch me when I come out and say, "No, when are we going to do this?" Because we're not fully going to be back altogether, probably out of bubbles until after the Easter holidays. So let's see what we can do. Let's see. I'm looking at Mr. Cutler Ames in there as part of the performing arts. So I think we can do something, don't you? They're nodding their heads. Mr. Cubber, well done. Tech team, we're done. Yeah, okay. Production, Miss Clark. Catch you this afternoon. Okay. All right. Will lunches be as they were in December? Yes. The marquee only went down last week, so we're going to get it back up, and we'll make sure that everybody has lunches. We won't be able to put year 7 and 8 into the hall for the assessment weeks because it was set up for assessments, but we are looking at 11 and 13 having an earlier lunch between 12 and 1, because when they're taking their assessments, it's right bang in the middle of the day, and then it means year 7 and 8 can use the marquee after them when it's being cleaned. So we're going down the hot lunch route, and and Mrs. Collins is busy on this. Poor Mrs. Collins, she's the detail person here, working it all out. So she's very busy now with all her risk assessments and working out the lunches and everything else, but that's a good job. Okay, and Excellent School, we are so proud to be part of it. Will the current Year 7 who missed out on the end of Year 6 celebrations last year get the chance to make it up? I think that would be a really good idea. I think we're going to need 2 weeks from the 21st of June, aren't we? All this partying. We'll make sure. That's a really good point, Mrs. Stewart. Thank you very much. And Mrs. Collins is back on saying yes, they will have hot lunch options available and eaten in different locations as in December. Nice thing about it is the weather's getting nicer too. And before the Year 11s ask, we will try and put the heaters in the marquee for you too. From Tom Pilkington, from a student's point of view, I just want to say a massive thank you for your hard working and dedication to students in Year 11 and 13. Tom, it's great to hear from you. I'm just thinking what time. Yeah, you are on your lunch break and you're not missing a lesson, so thank you very much for the comment. Hi, Moira's talking to someone else here, and then we go. All right, as a relative newbie to LVS, I cannot agree more with the positive comments. Thank you to all LVS staff. We have a happy learner at home. And remember, happiness is our number one. Happiness is the key, and everything else follows from that. So any more questions? I think we're coming to the end, but I'm always here. The virtual door is always open, and the real door will be open very soon. See you soon. Bye.